It's no secret that Trump is going to hit your husband hard for everything you can possibly imagine. President Trump is disgusting, and there is no boundary he won't go for. I know we all know that. There's stuff in the prompter that he says about your husband that, quite frankly, I just don't want to repeat because I think it's so gross. But we know that Trump is Teflon, and it's very hard for things to stick to him. But he is very good at neutralizing his opponents, like he did with Little Marco, Lying Ted, and of course, Crooked Hillary. So how are you guys preparing to go up against that in the debates and in the general election, and just deal with the inevitable vitriol that's coming?
You know, we know who Trump is, and Joe is strong. He's been in politics, most of his life, and I think Joe can handle it. Joe's used to handling bullies.
I think, yeah, I think he can handle it just fine. I mean, they go after him for his little gaffes that he makes. I mean, he's human. He makes mistakes. It's nothing like this criminal in the White House and the things that he says every day. But I wish they would just stop doing that. But you know, why do you suppose Trump is so Teflon? Why do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't understand it either, Joy. Really, I don't understand it either. Why he's not held accountable.
It's unbelievable. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's got to do with the quantity. It's the quantity of things that he says. It's so crazy every day and so disturbing that you become immune to it, I think. Anyway.
Oh. I want to switch gears and talk to you about the coronavirus, because at this point, nearly 130,000 people, Americans, have died here in the U.S. And over the weekend, the Secretary of Health and Human Services said that the window is closing for the U.S. To do anything about this, to get the virus under control. What is your biggest concern?
Well, my biggest concern, you know, as a teacher is for America's children. I mean, that's what I'm concerned about. And so they have, the parents have to be responsible and make sure that their children wear masks and that they're socially distancing from their friends. And I know it's hard. I mean, this is summer. The kids should be out in the, playing kick the can and, just at swimming pools. But it's just a different time. And I think it's the responsibility of parents and grandparents to say to your children, this is life and death, and we have to be safe.
You know, it's something that I worry about as well. My children are school-aged, and my mother is a teacher. And since the virus, schools have moved to remote learning, which is very difficult for a lot of children. And we are seeing a lot of inequality with families who just can't afford to have computers, and children really getting left behind. And as you mentioned, you are a teacher yourself. What is the solve here? What do you think can and should be done?
Well, we have to get rid of the inequity in education to begin with. And that's what I'm hearing from teachers all across this country. So you're right. I mean, not all areas have broadband. Not all kids have laptops. Not all kids have access to the internet. So that's one of the things that will change during a Biden administration. And we have to create equality in education, and Joe will do that by starting with universal pre-K for all kids at 3 years old, so they all start at the same base, and then they continue through the grades, and then hopefully we'll have free community colleges. One of the things that I really have been pushing for, and one of the things that we started in the Obama-Biden administration, and there's so much we can do. Give more in Title I funding to the Title I schools who have the greatest needs. And then I truly think, Sunny, I mean, we have to do so much for the mental health of our students, because when these children come back to school, and they cannot wait to come back, I understand that, but they're coming back, and many, many of them suffer from anxiety because of this pandemic, or have been food insecure. And as you may or may not know, child abuse is on the rise. And they're going to bring this all into the classroom with them, all these anxieties. So we have to help our kids by doubling the funding for psychologists and counselors in our schools. And we have to give mental health support to our teachers, because they're the ones, I'm an English teacher, and it's not only my subject matter that I'll have to teach. It's, to help calm their fears and make them feel strong and give them confidence again. So there's a lot to do, but I think, with Joe being president, we can move forward.